So for today's video, I'm broaching a slightly awkward topic for me to talk about, but hey, I guess it's not that awkward since you probably already know what this video is about because of the title. I had plastic surgery about 8 months ago. I guess I'm just gonna start by saying what I had. I had a breast augmentation and I also had liposuction. Now, the reason why I put quotes around liposuction is because I'm going to kind of explain, it was different than traditional liposuction and the reasoning why I got it. So, I guess I'll start with the liposuction since I'm talking about that. I am one of those people, you know, everybody has their trouble spots and areas that they gain weight, and I am one of those girls that is definitely a pear-shaped. I gain my weight down below. I always have ever since I was a little girl, and it's something that I just was not comfortable with. I didn't like it because I was so petite up top. I always just felt uncomfortable that I was so small up top and I had thin little shoulders and arms, and then I had a much larger butt, and it made dress shopping difficult because if it was fitted up top and loose on the bottom, I would be a size 0, but if it was fitted on the bottom, like if it was a fitted dress, I'd have to buy like a 6 or an 8 and then have the top drastically altered in, if they could even alter it at all. When I was 16, I ended up having a hip surgery, not cosmetic surgery. It was actually because I have uneven legs, and from years and years of dancing, I developed a bone spur, which is essentially like, here is my leg. I developed a whole nother bone growing out of the side of my leg, and that's what I have on my right, or had on my right hip. When I was at dance camp, I was doing a leap across. You do these exercises across the floor when you're warming up to dance. And I did a leap in second, which is basically just your legs open. And when I landed on my right foot and my left foot behind me. I didn't know that I had the bone spur at the time. My bone spur actually tore through my fascia, which is the muscle running down the side of your leg. We didn't know this. I was just in excruciating pain. Sorry, that happened when I was 14. I had the surgery at 16. It took 2 years of walking around in a lot of pain till I ended up having an experimental surgery on my hip where basically my mom ended up telling a doctor, like, my daughter's not crazy, she's not making up the pain, something is wrong and you're not fixing her, so I want you to perform surgery on her. So we had to sign all this paperwork saying that we knew they were going in without knowing what they were looking for. It was experimental, all that stuff. They went in and ended up finding the bone spur, but it was a big ordeal. I actually have about 7-inch scar on my right hip because they just cut me open and went all the way down to the bone, and then they had to shave off the bone, get rid of the scar tissue, stitch back up my muscle and my skin, obviously. And it was intense. I was in a walker for 6 months. I wasn't even fully healed. I mean, I still wouldn't consider myself fully healed, but it's pretty darn close. Like, but I wasn't fully healed for about a year where I could like walk up and down stairs and I wasn't in crutches or a walker. So what that hip surgery did is it left me, who was already self-conscious with my hips, it left it even worse because my right hip ended up atrophying, I guess, which is kind of where the muscle just loses itself, and it's like babies are born with it. But the weird thing is, after that hip surgery, no matter what I did, no matter what kind of physical therapy, strength training, dieting I did, my right hip never snapped back up. It was really weird, and my right hip ended up being about 3 inches larger than my left, which made jean shopping, dress shopping, everything even more difficult because nothing fit right. And it was really, really frustrating to take an area that I was already super self-conscious with and make it even worse and even more noticeable. Now, that being said, I know it's not the end of the world. I'm not sitting here trying to say like, poor me. I'm just kind of explaining the reasoning behind it. So fast forward to now, what I ended up getting done is they actually did liposuction on both hips. But what they did is they took 4 inches off my right, because I told you I was 3 inches uneven. So they took off the 3 to even it up, and then they took off another inch just because they were there, so why not? And then they took an inch off of my left side. So it made it really even. It took everything in a little bit. and I'm really, really happy with it. It's really cool because now pants, like when I have jeans, the buttons in the center would always pull over to the left like a lot because my right was filling out so much, and now it pretty much stays to the center. Jeans are easier to shop for, dresses are easier to shop for, everything just fits better. So that's what I got done. So it feels kind of weird to call it liposuction, but that's what it was. I guess the fat, I don't even know. I guess the fat wouldn't go out of that pocket because of my hip surgery. I have no idea, but the cool thing is too, the surgeon told me before I had it done, he was like, look, you had a very serious surgery. I'm not going to be able to make it perfect, but I can definitely make you a lot more even. So it was kind of cool because I knew what I was walking into. I wasn't expecting it to be pre-surgery. I mean, obviously I have like a 7-inch scar, but it's so much better than it was before, and I'm really, really happy with it. And the scars that I have kind of look like little pen marks because what they do is they did a little hole and they stick a tube in, and that's how they get the fat out. So that's what I got done to my hips. Now, breast augmentation, like I said, I was not even an A prior. I ended up getting silicone, and the reason that I ended up getting silicone was just because since I was so small, so much smaller before, they say that it's sometimes a better idea, depending on like your skin and your breast tissue, to go with silicone because there is a little bit less likely of like a chance of rippling. So I went with silicone, and I am now a C, a small C. And I'm really, really happy. The cool thing about my surgeries is for me and for what I wanted, I feel very balanced now and proportionate. So dress shopping, jean shopping, all of that is just much easier. And I realize this is really, really shallow, but this is just something that I wanted to do. And for me, I felt like I have been thinking about it for a very, very, very long time. Those two things, you know, I always thought like, I wish I had a little bit more up top. And after my hip surgery, any concerns I had about my hips were like way worse or I felt way more self-conscious just because of the outcome of the surgery. So I am really, really happy with the results. That being said, you know, I really feel like plastic surgery is a really personal thing. I don't think that everybody is obligated to tell everyone when they get something done. You know, I'm one of those people that like, I remember for a long time, for example, I wore hair extensions everywhere. And Dan would always laugh because I was totally one of those people that when people would stop me and compliment my hair, they'd be like, oh my gosh, you have the most amazing hair. I'd be like, thanks, it's fake. I got it from Sally's. I'd like tell them. It's just something weird about my personality where I just feel like I have to tell everyone. But I really do think it is a personal choice. And I don't want anyone to think that like, that people should just always be telling everyone. If you have something done, it's a personal choice for you as to whether you want to share it with people or not. I don't think that anyone is owed to know if you've had something done. Just like with anything else, like no one is owed knowing how much you pay for a pair of jeans or whether you dye your hair or not. It's just kind of a personal decision and something that everyone has to decide for themselves. And along those lines, that's kind of how I feel about my plastic surgery. I know a lot of people in my personal life have asked me like, are you scared? Was it really extreme? I mean, that's a really big deal. And for me, first off, yes, I was scared. I'm going to talk about that. But second off, the way that I look at it now is it's just kind of become, it's like me now. It's gotten to the point now after like 8 months, I forget a lot of times that I've had anything done because it just feels like me and my body. And it kind of feels to me in my head like not much of a difference between like dyeing my hair or painting my nails or getting a tattoo or something like that. It's just kind of a personal choice for your body and what you feel comfortable with. And I definitely don't think that there is one standard for beauty. I honestly just feel like this was something I wanted to do for myself. And I'm very happy with it. So backing up, I know I said I was going to talk to you guys about being scared. So when I went into my plastic surgery, I was terrified. Now the reason that I got them done at the same time, I told you guys I had always kind of wanted both of those things done. B, anesthesia alone is like $2,500. So if you separate them, you're actually going to end up spending like $2,500 extra dollars. And C, I would rather, in my head, I was like, I'd rather just recover all at once than separate these, spend more money, and recover at separate times. Now, I will say the recovery, I think, was a lot harder because I got both done. Because I have heard that just breast augmentation surgeries do not take as long to recover from. But for me, it was a tough recovery. I did have a hard time, not just physically, because the medication that you get after a surgery can be intense. But also, it was a little hard emotionally. There are websites that talk about like the steps that people go through when they get plastic surgery done, and I definitely had all of those steps. I went into surgery, I came out, I was really, really excited at first. Then I kind of started getting freaked out. Then I was like, oh no, what did I do? Then I was like, okay, I think I'm starting to like this. Then I was like, wait, I'm sure I made the right decision, right? Then I started liking it again. Then I really liked it. Then I fell in love with it, and now I'm just settled with it. I'm really happy. I forget that I've even had anything done a lot of the times. And so I definitely went through all those stages. Now, especially what one can expect going into plastic surgery, it's kind of a good judgment based on how you feel about like getting your hair done. Like for me, I knew I was going to go through all those steps because I freak out even when I get my hair cut. Like, if you guys have noticed, I've had like the same hair ever since I've been on YouTube. And it's been like this for a long time. I've only changed my hair. I've been every color. I have been red, I have been blonde, I have been this color. But they've been spread over really long periods. I like don't change my hair very often because it freaks me out, and I know that I always end up hating it at first, and I'm always scared like, well, what if I don't end up liking it after that? So that says a lot about my decision to get plastic surgery, because the only reason I went through and pushed through my fear was because I knew I'd been thinking about it for so long. I knew it wasn't a fleeting like, oh, I think I want boobs and I'd like to have this fixed. I'd been thinking about it for so long. I was just like, Nikki, I know you're afraid, but you get afraid of everything. You're gonna like it. You've wanted this for so long. So I did a lot of research. I found a really reputable board certified surgeon. Dan and I had, we were obviously on the same page. I wouldn't get it done without my husband's consent, and I did it. And I definitely went through all of those steps. But now that like I said, I'm 8 months out of it, I'm very happy with the results. I forget about it a lot of the times. And yeah. Okay guys, so I guess that is it. If you have any questions about anything I talked about, you can just leave them in the comment section down below, and I will try to go through and answer. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions. I'll try to go through and answer as many of them as possible. So I hope that this was helpful or informative, and yeah, I guess that's it. And so in closing, guys, I just want to say I hope you guys have heard my heart of this video. I just wanted to share with you what I had done, why I had it done, and I don't want anyone to feel bad about themselves. This was a personal choice, just like hair color, makeup, all of that stuff, and this was just something I wanted to do for me. So yeah, I guess that is it. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the day, and I'm gonna drink my tea now, and I'll see you next time. Bye!